at Easyriders. You know, when I first started there, when I would bring suggestions to the table, how we should be selling, how to take this old model of publishing into this century, I would get shot down. You know, we've been doing this forever. That'll never work. Oh no, you have to be on the newsstands. Because I was so new in the publishing business, I had to go along with what they said. And so I knew that to be successful in a magazine in the age of the internet, you had to change it up. So I got to a point where I was like, go with the flow, watch this thing fail, or say fuck it and do it my way. Having a print magazine in 2025 is not the smartest thing. You can make a digital magazine all day long, put one out every day, I don't care. If you can't pick that thing up and flip through it, it's worthless to me. It's the nostalgia. I want to smell the ink. The internet's grown so much. Social media's grown so much. We went from blogs to Instagram to stories to videos. It's hard to keep up.
Everything's stored here, shipped from here. I don't know, I like to have my hands on it and not put it in the hands of somebody else.
21 issues in, 5 years invested in this, and some people will come to me and say, wow, you've created this great thing and we love it. And I didn't create shit. There's a whole family and team behind this. No one is doing this to get rich. From the writers, photographers, myself, everyone's just passionate about this project that we're doing. And I think it shows. It shows in what we put out, that it comes from the heart. I grew up in Whittier, San Gabriel Valley area. You know, typical kind of late 70s, early 80s childhood where grandparents took care of you, you know, when the parents were spun out. As far back as I can remember, there was motorcycles around. There's motorcycles in the garage. There was bikers around. I don't remember a time when there wasn't that. You know, my stepdad was an iron worker and had a good job, and he was a biker. Growing up in a biker household was not easy. There's a lot of drugs around. There's a lot of fucking bikers around. When I had friends coming over and I had to like clean the cocaine residue off the glass coffee table, you know, because I didn't want my friends to know that this is the life that we were living. In that way, made me for a long time kind of reject this lifestyle. I didn't want it. I gotta be honest here, I've blacked out a lot of my childhood, man. Like I can't, when it comes back to, it's a tearjerker, it's waterworks. Like I start remembering shit as a kid and I'm just like, fuck, my parents did that to me. Like, you know, it's pretty fucked up. Yeah, I don't know how much more I could say about that. You know, it was rough. I was probably 6, 7, 8 years old when one of the times that my mom left my stepdad and moved us back with my grandparents. We'll pull the motor, the trans, the oil bag, get all that stuff out first. Get the frame out to Crispy Co. Have them hardtail it.
Nice.
I'll probably have Hog Killers take a look at it, and if it's good, it's good. If not, I'll get it rebuilt.
Good, I haven't seen Aki in a minute. It would be a nice trip.
Put it back together.
Yeah.
My grandfather, he was in buggies and he was in Broncos and he was in doing different things already by the time I was going. So I did miss him actually riding the motorcycles, but I got the stories. At a young age, I knew I had this negative feeling inside me about riding a Harley, being a biker.
You know what? I think I'm gonna take you up on one of those beers.
But then I get to hang out with my grandpa in his garage with his old timer buddies talking about the good old days of motorcycling through Baja. And then that feeling would switch. And all that negative shit would go out of my head and I'd be like, well, this is cool.
Gives me the power to pull a motor out of the bike.
Oh, I'm gonna totally throw my back out right
I'm hoping that you fart or something.
Oh,
We're gonna swing it out to your right.
Dude, I don't know if that was your belt or your back.
I remember when I first started getting into it, my grandfather told me, he said, be careful, mijo. He goes, when you start riding on two wheels, it will take over your life. Everything that you want to do will be revolved around those two wheels. And God damn it, he was right. My grandfather played such a big role in my life. He was my best friend. He was the best man at my wedding. My fucked up sense of humor was because of him. My work ethic is because of him. My family values are because of him. I owe everything to him. I had bikes that I would ride when I was younger in high school. A good friend of mine, Leon, his brothers had sport bikes, and we were always around there, and we would, get on them and sneak them out when we could. So I'd been on bikes a lot. I just never pulled the trigger to buy one. My first bike, when I got it, I bought it on eBay when eBay first came out. And I had no idea how eBay worked. I'd never bought anything on eBay. I mean, it was brand new.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maggie. Happy birthday to you.
Saw a motorcycle and I was like, oh, I would pay this much for it. And then next thing I know, it's like, you won this motorcycle. And I was like, oh, guess I'm buying a motorcycle, right? So the hardest part was just telling my wife I accidentally bought a motorcycle. She still doesn't believe that was an accident, but I swear it was an accident.
I don't want any footage of me drinking a White Claw, okay?
Too late. It's everywhere.
It's hard to be a tough biker with a White Claw in your hand.
Well, I got a root beer.
She come out of break of night, and the pink skies waving goodbye. She come out of break of night, leaving no traces around. She's trying to free a reckless heart. She's trying to be as light as a breeze. Queen of art, Friday morning.
Don't focus on him, focus on me.
yonder wearing mine.
What's up, Wade?
What's going on?
Oh, man. How's the cover look?
Pretty good. Got a guy in a Speedo.
Nice.
Oh, my from the editor. You got to give this a read. I'm gonna blow this up. I kind of go heavy on a lot of these kids worried more about Instagram than the ride. So take a look, see if I need to change anything.
I like it.
I end it with, see you on the road or on the gram. Choose wisely. I mean, that sums it up, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's keep going. This motorcycle community is small, and the chopper community is even smaller. One guy that Dean from Dice Magazine actually introduced me to was Jason Wilson. Amazing fabricator, one of the best. Was still one of the best. And he got invited to do a show called Chopper Wars on History Channel with Hugh King, and he invited a few of us kind of to help out. I'm not a fabricator, I'm not a painter, I'm not a motor builder. I was just there to party and have fun.
The covers always last. Like, we never pick the cover up front, partly because we're busy doing all the layouts, but also it gives us time to kind of process all the photos that are there. That was a big reason why I started working with Easyriders. Dave Nichols, from longtime editor of Easyriders and my mentor, was the judge. We won the show, and like every good biker does, you go out for some margarita, and we invited him out. Have you thought about Born Free booth setup?
I got to build a whole kind of fixture. I want to create levels to it.
You're running out of time, fool.
I'll have it done. It's not going to take me that long. It's only like two 6-foot tables. It'll be pretty easy. It's going to be super simple setup.
And at this point, I'm still kind of kissing this guy's ass. I'm like, fuck, this is the editor from Easyriders, right? And I'm just stoked to be with him, with my history with the magazine. But then the margaritas kicked in. So I have one too many, maybe two too many, and I start telling him how the mag sucks now. I start telling him how goofy all the layouts are. I start telling him how shitty the bikes are putting in. Doesn't feel like anyone is a biker there anymore. I mean, I went down a list of things that I really felt. You got to understand that Easyriders was top of the food chain when it came to magazines. And I really felt like that magazine that I love so much went downhill. He was like, well, why don't you come help us then? Put your money where your mouth is.
Issue. That's gonna be a good one, man. Definitely a good one. So what I look for are the bleeds, right? Like, is anything look off from where it's gonna fold?
Yeah, that's not too bad, because with the binding of it, you'll still be able to capture.
Yeah, you'll still have.
Here, yeah.
I think I was trying to give everything a 1/2 inch.
Yeah, that should be fine. 3/8 of an inch is usually what the minimum we want to look for as
Yeah.
far as in the spine area, but that's not bad at all.
So after the show, I get a phone call. I look down, it's Dave Nichols.
Said, hey, come down to Agora Hills. We want to talk. I said, oh shit, okay. Jumped on my panhead, rode the 50, 60 miles to Agora Hills. Smile from ear to ear, just like, fuck, I'm going to the Easyriders office.
Dave called me back to the office.
Pretty much he just said, well, what can you offer? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I could barely speak English. I don't know how you want me to write something.
Now I can really say like everybody involved in this magazine rides, from the photographers, the writers, editors, to the printer, you know, rides a motorcycle.
Dave was like, have anything coming up? And I said, yeah, there's this rides. Mexico, it's biker debauchery. It's shit that, you know, gets people divorced. He says, cover it. We get out there, we have a blast, we have a good time.
And I come home.
Like, sit down by my computer to write it, and I'm like, fuck.
I remember looking at it, going, oh man, I'm screwed. I talked all this game, how I can make Easyriders better, and I cannot even write one word on the screen. I was ready to quit. I was ready to call him and say, I can't do this. You know, this is not for me. My grandfather, he had a couple of really good quotes. One was, if you can't do it, you can't stay. And the other one was, are you a Mexican or a Mexicant? I said, well, I'm not very creative, so I'm just gonna write down my thoughts. And I just wrote and wrote and wrote, and it was a lot of 4-letter words, a lot of misspelling. There was no Chat GPT.
The feature comes out, I think it was 6 or 8 pages. It was a huge spread. Everyone at the company loved it. It was something fresh that they were kind of lacking, right? Like, those guys had been around for so long, they weren't getting out and doing those things anymore.
Dave called me back to the office.
He's like, hey, we want you to come on as an associate editor. It was just a childhood dream that I didn't even know I had come true.
I kind of started collecting mags when I was a kid. People would be selling stacks of old biker mags, Easyrider mags, you know, for less than $1 each. And I just started buying them. I don't know why. Just kept, every time I saw them, I was like, well, can't pass that up. And then it became just like a weird thing where I had to not miss an issue of something, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of people my age and a little bit older and younger that are the same way.
During my time with Easyriders,
The internet became more and more the dominant way of absorbing news.
we went from blogs to Instagram to videos.
I saw how important Facebook was. I saw how important Instagram was when it came. When I saw Instagram first come out, I think I was one of the early people to jump on it. I created an Easyriders page for it, and it blew up. You know, the early mags, of course, were digest size, and they were black and white. You know, when you got these old mags, you're looking back in time. This is it. These people were doing this in 1969.
When I met Joe Teresi early on, he actually told me that the internet was a fad and it's gonna go away.
He really thought that print was the end all. He was old school.
They were still making a magazine for distributors because they were so successful for so long with the formula they had pre-internet.
This is my crazy collection of private stash folders filled with Easyriders. The smell of these old mags, I get that whiff of that old print, and it takes me right back to when I was a little kid in the garage, getting yelled at by a bunch of bikers for getting too close to the bike, or it takes you back.
If you were to start a magazine 20 or 30 years ago, it would probably be a little bit different. In this day and age with the internet, it's completely shifted the entire mentality of our reader. They're not going out to a newsstand to pick something up. Everything is easily accessible via your computer or your phone. You gotta be out there at all the shows. You gotta be out there with the community. If you're not staying on top of it, then you might lose about 50% of your readers.
I knew that to be successful in a magazine in the age of the internet, you had to change it up. And they would just shoot me down, shoot me down, shoot me down. I got to a point where I was like, go with the flow, watch this thing fail, or say fuck it
and do it my way. Good there. As we get ready for another long ride, I'll check the axles, I'll check transmission bolts, motor mount bolts, anything that can possibly rattle loose. If you don't maintain and check all your bolts, you end up losing shit on the side of the road, which I have done plenty of times, and I've learned my lesson. So now I try and be a little more proactive. I learned that from my wife. After I finally had made up my mind to branch off on my own,
We start searching for names. We start searching trademarks. Everything that we thought of was taken. It's hard to come up with a name for a company right now. You have to have socials. You have to have the IP. Everything's got to be available. I happen to look and see some old Ed Roth Choppers magazines that I just had laying there. And on a whim, I go, I wonder what Choppers magazine is doing. Pull up, trademarks available, Instagram's available, Facebook's available. The stars just kind of all aligned. I said, fuck it. This is what we're calling it. We're bringing it back. Got the trademarks, got all the socials, the emails, but there's still one thing bothering me, which was the Ed Roth family. I needed to get some sort of, okay from his family. I get a hold of Daryl Roth, and, I'll be completely honest, he wasn't happy at first. He was saying, you can't fucking do that. And I was like, well, Daryl, we can, but I won't if I don't have your approval. And I would not have done it if at the end of that conversation and he was telling me no. After that came out, I started telling him, you can have everything, hand you everything, but you have to make a magazine and I'll help you. You can own it, but I want to bring this magazine back. This needs to come back. And in the end of our conversation, he was like, you have my blessing to go for it.
Yo cantaba dentro del palenque y la gente empezaba a apostar por el gallo de Tomás Valente o el de Francisco, ¿cuál va a quedar? Jueguen los gallos, señores, se oye gritar. Jueguen los gallos, señores, ¿quién ganará? El diablo cantando en el palenque, el gallo de Francisco de pie. Muerto el gallo de Tomás Valente, muerto el gallo de Tomás Valente, la vida de Francisco se fue.
After the phone call with Daryl Roth, we were a go, 100%. I was able to hire all my friends, my photographers, my writers, and put all the people in our kind of circle in this magazine. I said, this is what I want. Photos, text. We don't need to get crazy. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Let's make it easy to read, good old-fashioned biker magazine.
I know for a fact that he walked into this knowing how important this magazine was. You know what I mean? There's a lot of responsibility. I think that there's like a level of excitement that comes with it for sure, but also a lot of anxiety. You don't know how well this is going to be received. You know, this is a legendary print publication. We can't afford to shit the bed with it.
In this magazine, I wanted to stay true to my vision. Clean, simple. I'd rather not have an ad in there than have a plumbing company ad or something. I can have an extra page of a bike feature instead of some bullshit ad.
We could totally sell ads to Slim Jim, but that's not who our market is. Our market is people like Alex English at Crispy Co., Butt Seats, Built Well, who's a big supporter. They're just trying to grow just like us. I love that that's what the magazine represents, because we're all a little guy.
Being started by Big Daddy Ed Roth in 1967, this is a legacy brand. I'm not him, I'm not trying to be him, but I'm trying to follow in his footsteps. I gotta stay true to Ed Roth's vision.
What style brake are you running? Because you know we can do a juice, drum, or a disc brake setup for you.
Disc brake. What's a disc brake? Never heard of her.
Dude, stopping's for quitters, dude.
So we'll do a juice drum. Any other, anything else I need to know about it?
Nah, dude. Now that frame's cherry, we'll get this thing cut up and stabbed on and back to you ASAP, dude.
Well, give me a call in a couple hours when you're all done. Check it out.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take it easy. As we were wrapping up issue 2,
It hit some bumps in the road. I wasn't jiving with the partner anymore.
and we split ways. It was shortly after that I realized how much all this actually costs to keep afloat. You gotta pay photographers, you gotta pay writers, you gotta pay editors. I could only do so much. I was at a point where it got really dark for a while, asking myself why put yourself through this? It was just something in me that I couldn't quit. I could not just walk away from this thing. It was, back to what my grandfather was saying. You Mexican or Mexican?
There's really two businesses that you don't want to start. One's a restaurant and the other one's a magazine. In 2025, the number of magazines that are being printed now has dropped significantly from what it was 10 years ago. I've seen companies try to come in and they might print something for 6 months and then they're gone. There's probably thousands of them that have a very, very short lifespan.
I rounded up all the money I could. I sold the parts that I could. I was still short about 12 grand and was gonna sell my Panhead. I was telling my friend Bear he owned a company at the time called Old Bike Barn in White Knuckler, and he said, do not sell your Panhead. Do not sell that thing. He says, give me a few minutes. 5 minutes later, he called me back and he said, Bill from Builtwell and himself and Walter from Kickstart Cycles are gonna pre-buy 10 ads up front, knowing that I could print one more magazine and fold it. Those 3 people saved the magazine.
This close, having conversations, doing your frame, being a part of your project,
There was no better feeling than dropping issue 12 and telling these guys, I fulfilled your ads.
Today we're at Born Free. What number is this? 16? 17?
16. 16.
I don't know, you lose track.
What is it, 9 a.m.?
8:32.
Jeez Louise.
Living the dream.
Probably the number one thing I like about the magazine is getting out in the community. Putting on our shows, seeing people wear our hats, seeing people flip through the magazine, seeing people on our shirts.
It's a good feeling to know that people appreciate what you're doing.
It did used to be just a magazine, and then it's grown to so much more. Now it's one of those things that we kept pushing to Cary, like, dude, this is gonna be a brand. People are gonna want merch. People are gonna want the hats. And within 1 year, you started to just see Choppers Magazine hats everywhere you went, and shirts everywhere you went. That to me is the most fulfilling thing. It's like, it makes me feel like I'm doing my job, and I'm not letting the big boss down.
Thumbing through a magazine is a different experience than scrolling through your phone. You want to have your collection of magazines. You want them laying around. You want them in your shop. You want to be able to pick one up and thumb through it,
Everyone knows you go in, you look at a magazine, first thing you do is pick it up and start thumbing through it. Then you rip out stuff and put it on your wall. Like, there's so much more you can do. Chopper Magazine did a story on me and my son. Having that physical copy is something that he's gonna be able to show his grandkids, not look through his phone and look on a screen this big.
We got shows on Saturday, so we do like a shop party Thursday, and then we'll have a free party tomorrow, Friday, whatever now we show on Saturday. We gotta get out.
I like to make people smile by seeing a photo of himself, kind of like, holy shit, I made it. I'm in print, I made it, Ma.
That's my why. That's why I do this. Choppers Magazine always has been and always will be a passion project. Everyone involved works for very little money. We spread the wealth as much as we can, but there's not a lot of money to spread around.
We're not doing this for a paycheck. This magazine isn't a breadwinner for us. We both have day jobs that we have to abide by to put food on the table, or to keep a roof over our heads, or keep our bikes running. The magazine is a passion project. It's something that we want to be able to grow to the point where we can and really focus on the magazine. You want to get paid to do what you're passionate about, and that's the most important thing, and I think that we both have that same goal.
I really believed in the Choppers Magazine brand and the actual magazine. It could kind of be something, It's not gonna make me $1 million, I know that, but it's gonna be something that, man, it's gonna leave my mark on the world. It's a legacy thing.
For me, it's so fulfilling to say, I was a part of that, I helped do that. If Cary and I can cheers a beer and say, today was another good day in the magazine world, what more would I want?
Everyone's just passionate about this project that we're doing, and I think it shows. It shows in what we put out, that it comes from the heart.
I always knew that it's such a niche thing that it would never be sent off to like some big warehouse and having other people pack it. Sometimes I got the wife and kids here to help. Sometimes I'm doing it by myself. I don't know, I like to have my hands on it and not put it in the hands of somebody else, because you never know. People aren't going to treat your product like their own.
wrapping up issue 21, and I now am struggling with how do I keep up with this digital age.
People that don't want to read anymore, or people that want to read everything 2 sentences at a time. And then you got this AI problem now.
Prior to the internet, prior to digital magazines, you only saw the new builds in that magazine. You didn't get to see it being built. You didn't get to see it when he was done instantly on Instagram.
We let people submit. I mean, that's 90% of all our bikes are either photographers or builders hitting us up saying, hey, I got this bike. If I like it, I'll put it in. If I don't, I'll send them to another magazine.
Those days are gone for the most part. That anticipation is gone with all this instant gratification.
We are going to keep doing it as long as we can.
You know, we're just holding on to it just a little bit longer, right? Just hold on to that.
So that you could save it and pass it down to your kids or pass it down to your friends. I remember seeing the first one of these, and I think a guy wanted $100 for it, and I was like, you're crazy. You know, fast forward 10 years, and they're $250, $300 now.
It's the most authentic name I've ever heard.
I mean, it is. It really is.
Choppers Magazine.
I mean, and it was the first, like, custom motorcycle lifestyle magazine. It was the first one.
I don't think people are going to realize the importance of print until something maybe catastrophic happens. Something happens to where your phone doesn't work anymore, your iPad doesn't work anymore. If you don't print those photos and the cloud goes down, they're gone. It's funny, you know, I'm 53. I'm over the internet. As I sit here and the words come out of my mouth, I'm like, holy shit, I'm Joe Teresi. Like,
Infinito tren nos acaba, los paisajes cambian sin cesar.